What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, on today's video I will explain you, well, unfortunately not the best news, and I told you multiple times that our community has to be professional, and I have a pure evidence for now that we are not so professional, and that is why we cannot push our case forward, because well, not so many people and entities can argue with us, because our efforts are pretty much useless because of our misrepresentation of data. And I will explain you my thoughts within just a couple of minutes. But before we dive deep into all of this, if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join my Patreon account. And guys, you've seen many of my trade calls, all delivering strong returns in just hours. Now it's your turn to trade smarter. Join my Safe Haven Patreon tier, built for traders who want consistency, structure and real results. You will get a detailed plan to protect your portfolio, monthly one-on-one Zoom sessions with me and private Discord access with all trade alerts, lessons and exclusive updates. And here is the best part. If you don't earn more than your subscription price within 30 days, you will receive a full refund, no question asked, as long as your trading account balance is at least $2,500 and you've taken all the recommended trades during the period. No excuses, no fine print. You profit or you don't pay. Here are just a few of my trade results from the first half of October. But don't wait, this offer is available for a limited time only. Once the spots are filled, enrollment will close. Join today and let's start building your edge in the market. So, and let's begin with some tweets that were reposted by Junk Savvy. She answered to the tweet that was written by Stephanie, and Stephanie published a response from Next Bridge Hydrocarbons that was, it is basically an email. And we know that we had rumors that some broker-dealers told us that Next Bridge Hydrocarbons blocked the transfer of NBA shares to AST, former AST, and it is an Equinity Trust company right now. But here is the answer. And Stephanie wrote, no restrictions for transferring your shares. Next Bridge Hydrocarbons has no restrictions in place on the movement of our shares. This includes transfer to and from or between any brokerage and or our transfer agent Equinity Trust company. Any information being disseminated to the companies is erroneous. Don't trust the brokers. And guys, yes, I have to say that brokers, fortunately, don't have an immunity. That is why we can ask them tricky questions that we want and they have to answer. But we have to ask these questions in the most appropriate way. And I'm talking about the lawsuits. And we have several lawsuits through which we might ask very tricky questions. For example, we might ask to explain the number, not the number, but the price of Next Bridge Hydrocarbons and MMTLP shares back in December of 2022. And we know Timeless Team published his screenshot from, I believe it was a TradeStation screenshot, where the price for some of his stocks was as high as $200,000. And we have to see this explanation, because one part of our community thinks that this is the real price and this is the evidence of the short squeeze. But other part of the community rely on the status of these orders, and it was part of the rejected orders. And we have a misrepresentation of data from TradeStation itself, because on the one hand, tab folder where you can find these orders is rejected orders, but at the same time the status of the orders itself are the too late to cancel, which means that these orders were executed, but for some reason the people didn't receive any money for their shares. So, and this is a quite good sign that at least Next Bridge Hydrocarbons can answer to these questions, and we have this information in our portfolio. On top of that, let me show you that Junk Savvy also added this to pretty much the same topic. So she wrote, broker dealers just keep digging that hole deeper with their abstraction. Why is MMTLP always the exception to the rule? GME investors, did you get the excuses? How about DJT investors? Did you get the astronomical fees? Any other retail investors experience obstruction of property rights when trying to transfer shares to the issuer's transfer agent? Any shields, restrictions, or transfer window limitations? Did they try to force paper certificates on you? No? Okay, just MMTLP got it. Okay. Or maybe this, they can't deliver the shares. We are not going away. MMTLP, TRCH and MMAT. And she added the part of the FOIA letter. And she highlighted this bullet point. If the SEC approves the S1 filing as proposed, lending broker dealers will not be able to recover these shares or the equivalent warrants on behalf of customers. And guys, in a minute I will show you what is the conflict of interests that is appearing because of this status and because of this spin-off, and it is a very important news on today's video. But first of all, I want to pay attention to another well, not the best news, because we know that Ann Vanderstiel also made several requests, several FOIA requests, and Busy Brands wrote this tweet on February the 4th. He wrote, despite the mounting cries for transparency in the last 3 years regarding the MMTLP financial scandal, Chairwoman Ann Wagner failed to mention the MMTLP scandal during today's House Financial Service proceedings. And I told you guys that we cannot change the agenda of these meetings, and the only way how we can affect their actions, authorities' actions, is through litigation processes. And in response to this tweet, Ann Vanderstiel wrote, so far my FOIAs have all been put out to pasture, and unfortunately we don't have any active FOIA requests from Ann Vanderstiel, and she made it, I believe, several weeks ago. And well, I will show you another not the best fact about Ann Vanderstiel as well. Let me show you first of all this one. Ann Vanderstiel published this on February the 6th. Open letter to Representative Tim Burchett. She wrote, the MMTLP community is more than 100,000 investors strong. Keep an eye on this number. Their money has been frozen. Lives have been abandoned. Some have been lost. Promises of accountability have quietly disappeared. Dodge was created to expose fraud. Well, Congressman Burchett, this is a fraud, and it is a slam dunk. What happened with MMTLP is not a mistake or market glitch. It is a coordinated financial crime covered up by regulatory agencies protecting their friends on Wall Street. This is a heist bigger than Enron, bigger than FTX, bigger than Madoff. The financial cabal working hand in glove with the intelligence community runs the American corporate system. They have everything to lose. That is why they are fighting accountability at every turn. If you are truly in Washington to serve for the people, you will take this case seriously. You will accept the evidence, you will investigate, you will indict, and you will prosecute the criminals responsible. Start with the SEC, start with Gary Gensler, start with FINRA, then follow the trial to the Wall Street firms that naked short sold MMTLP into oblivion. This community can prove the fraud. The evidence is complete, it is documented, it is overwhelming. I have reviewed it myself and I will stake my reputation on these facts. The question is simple: will you stand with the American people or continue to protect the system that robbed them? And she added this. This is exactly why MMTLP was never just a glitch. What you laid out reads like the same small circle showing up over and over again. Wall Street regulators, FINRA, and people who keep orbiting the Epstein network. That U3 halt was about brokers who oversold shares so they could not settle, and everyone realizing how bad the exposure really was. Retail was never going to get a fair outcome when the people overseeing the system have deep ties to Goldman, Ameritrade, TD Bank. The same power networks trading stopped, then nothing. 3 years later, there is still no sure reconciliation, no audit, no answers. That silence tells you everything you need to know. Rules for them and not for me. If this was clean, a share count would have happened a long time ago. The refusal to do one is the story. It is time to trace every share, every obligation, and every failure to deliver. Sunlight fixes this, and they know it. And guys, unfortunately, this, I partially agree with this statement, but guys, where did she get 100,000 investors? These facts, this is the highest, bigger than Enron, bigger than FTX, bigger than Madoff. Unfortunately, guys, we don't have evidence that this is a bigger problem than Enron, FTX, and Madoff cases. Because this statement was brought to the community, I believe Junk Savvy, first of all, made this statement, but she doesn't have any evidence of this. Because the numbers that should be represented in this case, in MMTLP case, should be billions and billions of dollars. Unfortunately, the problem is just several $100 million. And this is another fact that we cannot prove as a community. That is why, guys, a lot of politicians don't want to deal with our story because, they know that there is an active lawsuit against George Palakers and John Burda, and as long as this lawsuit is active, they will not push our case any further because this lawsuit should be closed one way or another, and we have to accept the ruling, the judge's ruling in this case, but it will happen somewhere in future. Unfortunately, we don't have this decision, and we cannot say that John Burda and George Palakers are innocent in this case, and we cannot say that they are guilty. We have just some tricky questions, and we have an ongoing investigation in their cases. That is why, guys, this type of statements from Ann Vandersteel is not the best one, especially when you see this type of comments from her. So, in response to the same exact open letter, and 100 investors strong, Sam wrote this: "You just made up that number of investors. Why?" And the answer is ridiculous in my opinion. And Vandersteel responded: "Moron, try doing research." And guys, I don't know where did she get this number. Sam also added, "I did. Please cite your sources. You cannot, because you just pulled that number out of the very thin air the morons you surround yourself breathe. Any questions?" And she added the part of, tiny part of the so-called press conference. That is not a press conference at all. It was just a meeting in front of the SEC that happened a couple of weeks ago. And yes, unfortunately, this type of comments from Ann Vandersteel, where she just, made this type of statements are not the best for MMTLP community. On top of that, guys, let me show you that a lot of people still think that FOIA requests were rejected, and we have statistics that Chris G wrote this: SEC transparency at its best. That is why we only see 0.04% of any FOIAs from the SEC. What you hiding? Fraud, collusion, conspiracy, theft? Where is the oversight? And here is the number of average responses for in MMTLP FOIA requests and in other requests. And other requests has much higher rate of responses, and MMTLP cases have only 0.04%. And the only reason of this is the ongoing investigation in MMTLP case and John Burda and George Palaker's case. And I covered this couple of videos ago. Just accept it. This is the only reason why we don't have a lot of FOIA answers. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. Ocelot also, wait a second, I will show you somewhere here. In response to Ann Vandersteel tweet, so she also responded to Naked Goat, and Naked Goat wrote, "The CEO and board may be in trouble also." And Ann Vandersteel wrote, "Nice try, FOIA's proof otherwise. Now go back to your SEC FINRA board form." Again, it is unprofessional answer. Let me quote you further. I'm not sure where we are on the same page. FOIAs isn't going to show you fraud or private conversations. Let's be honest. This whole thing is similar to BBIG, etc. Many stocks have CEOs that frauded the investors at the end of the day. Of course, the market makers and FINRA are frauds, but probably work together with some CEOs to clean up stuff. It's unfortunate, however, that's the case here in certain. If not, why has nothing been done? AMC, BBIG, GME, GNS. I mean, it's rampant. For your information, your comment about being a bot farm is hilarious. And, well, let me show you the answer of Ocelot. He wrote, "Nice LARP, but FOIAs actually suggest the contrary. The issuers probably have very big problems coming their way, but keep LARPing." And he added the same exact screenshot of the FOIA letter, and he highlighted, he underscored this phrase. We are looking at the two issuers from fraud and manipulation angle, and in fact bullshitting both MMAT and MMTLP as we speak. And this is I think it is the case of John Burda, George Palaker's and MMAT, and we know that this case is ongoing. Guys, everything is pointing to this case right now, because we cannot move forward without the judge's ruling on this case. We cannot do any FOIA requests because this case is up and running, and that is why we have 0.04% responses out of total FOIA requests. And well, a lot of people are trying to misrepresent this data. On top of that, Ocelot, well, he published another article, and to be honest, it is very good to see this very professional article. And you can argue with this information, but if you take a look at these articles, you will be really impressed. Here is the most recent one. The title is following: How a simple misrepresentation of a FINRA rule fueled a conspiracy theory. A lesson on may versus must. And he's talking about the rule 6490. And I have to say that the only problem right here is this one. Wait a second. FINRA had no obligation not to process the corporate action under FINRA Rule 6490, Section D3. But all this confusion is born by a misunderstanding of the difference between the words may and must and shall. And I have to say that, yes, this article is quite interesting, and I don't encourage you to read this entire article if you don't want to. Just give this article to any AI, to any artificial intelligence, ChatGPT or Gemini, and here is the summary of this article. Guys, it is very important to, well, to understand it. Here is the concise summary of the Ocelot article on Substack, focused on the technical and factual breakdown of the MMTLP situation. Summary and fact check MMTLP and T+2 misunderstanding. The article by Ocelot argues that the chaos surrounding the MMTLP U3 halt was not a conspiracy by FINRA, but rather a massive misunderstanding of market mechanics and settlement dates by the retail community. Key takeaways and technical analysis. The T+2 settlement rule. The author emphasizes that US markets operate on T+2 basis, a trade day plus 2 days for settlement. Since the record date for the next bridge hydrocarbon spin-off was December the 12th, the last day to buy shares that would settle in time was December the 8th. Fact check accurate. This is the standard SEC FINRA rule. Anyone buying on December the 9th would not have been a holder of record by the 12th. Next bullet point, the necessity of the U3 halt. The article claims the halt on the morning of December the 9th was necessary because any trading on that day would have been deceptive. Buyers would be paying for a dividend MBH shares they were technically ineligible to receive. Fact check. Logically sound but controversial. While technically correct regarding settlement, critics argue FINRA should have provided clearer guidance weeks in advance rather than halting the stock 2 days earlier than investors expected. And I totally agree with this. It is a controversial decision. That is why I told you that FINRA and SEC are also guilty in this case, but they are not the primary goal for MMTLP community. Next bullet point, the forced buy-in myth. A major thesis of the article is that short sellers were never legally required to close their positions before the spin-off. The short positions simply carried over into non-trading next bridge shares. Fact check confirmed. Market rules dictate that if a company goes private or spins off, the short obligation moves to the new entity. There is no automated buy-in trigger just because a ticker is deleted. And guys, this means all the narrative about the short squeeze was false and misleading information. That was the main narrative for the potential and real MMTLP shareholder who held these shares back in 2022. So, impact on shareholders. Ocelot points out that the U3 halt only negatively affected speculators looking to sell for a profit on December the 9th or the 12th. Long-term holders who wanted the oil and gas assets from NBH received exactly what they expected. Fact-checked accurate. The 65,000 shareholders who intended to transition to next bridge were not prevented from doing so by the halt. Their shares converted as planned. And guys, I made a video just 2 days ago where I explained that the U3 halt was not the main issue of the MMTLP saga. And this is another evidence of this. So, conclusion on the fact check. The article is technically accurate regarding brokerage rules and FINRA regulations. It serves as a reality check against the theory that a mandatory short squeeze was legally guaranteed. However, it tends to overlook the human element, the fact that FINRA's communication was confusing and many brokers gave conflicting information to their clients, which fueled the panic. And guys, I have to say that this is a very important statement and you can do exactly the same. It will take you just a couple of minutes to do exactly the same analysis. And do it, please do it. If you have any other evidence, just give this evidence to any artificial intelligence, to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to Grok, or any other existing AI, and you will have all the answers. Just do this fact checking by yourself. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed.